Guys, it's an absolute pleasure having you once again at a live Q&A. My name is Dan Diaz. I am your host with schoolofsharks.com. It is an absolute pleasure. And guys, we have a phenomenal show scheduled for everyone in the audience. A little bit of housekeeping, though. We are using a service called StreamYard. So we want to hear your comments. However, you got to go down to the comment section and allow StreamYard permission to basically let us know who you are. Otherwise, we're never going to know who you are. Now, after you do that, do me a favor and on the comment section, let us know where you're at, what's your market, and what's your area of expertise. Now, we got an awesome guest for us today. And this is a gentleman who has really shown that with youth and zeal and tremendous entrepreneurial spirit, a lot can be done. And guys, without further ado, it's an absolute pleasure to bring on board Willny Guifarro. Now, is that Guifarro or Guifarro? Please correct
Guifarro.
me.
Guifarro.
Guifarro, that's what I thought.
Sir. Thanks for
My
having me
friend,
on, man.
please tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what brought you into real estate, and who you are. Pretend nobody knows you, even though half the people probably do.
For sure, man. So my name is Willny Guifarro. I'm a real estate investor here in Houston, Texas. I'm a multifamily guy, so I buy multifamilies for myself, and I flip land. So the majority of the deals that we do is just land, land and multifamily. But yeah, man, I've been doing this for the past 6, 7 years now, since 2015. But it didn't actually turn into a business till 2019. So that's when I started hiring employees, and so far so good, man. Just living the life.
So I noticed that you said two dates out there: 2016, 2019. Now, there's going to be a lot of people in our audience that are going to be in your 2016 through 2019.
Right.
If you don't mind, share a little bit about what your routine was like, what was your mindset like, and what needed to change in order for things to change for you in 2019 from, I guess we'll call it a solopreneur to a
Right.
business owner. What happened?
So that's a great question, man. So from 2016 to 2019, I was wearing all the hats, right? So, doing the acquisition, doing the marketing, doing the disposition, managing the transaction all the way to closing. So my biggest thing these past few years has been managing my time efficiently, right? Um, I have this journal. It's called the 10X Journal by Grant Cardone. It literally tracks down every single hour of the day. So I've been using that since I first started. And you could grab it on Amazon. It's like $30. And so that has really helped me with managing my time. So, I've always been big on that. You know, uh, if you can manage your time correctly, you will manage your life correctly.
Whoa, say that again.
So the better that you manage your time, the better that you're going to manage your life. Um, if you constantly don't know what the fuck is going to happen throughout the day, excuse my French, um, it's kind of life is going to be not the best to you. You're not using your time effectively. So yeah, that's probably been one of the best things that I could do is actually track every single hour of the day, set targets for the day. What has to get done today? Okay, today we need 2 contracts signed. Today we're gonna make 10 offers, stuff like that. So you have to have targets each day, and you have to count it. You have to count it as a success, because so yeah, man. But what really changed the game for me at the in 2019 was spending money on my education, right? I went to a workshop. It was like $5,000, the most I've ever spent on myself. It was the scariest purchase that I've ever made. I remember that day very vividly. I'm like, I'm down to 30 grand in my bank account. I'm over here spending $5,000. I was very scared, but that's what really that's what really got me to where I'm at. I went and bet $5,000 on myself. So, I
I
learned.
like the way you said that. You bet $5,000 on yourself.
Yeah, so you got to bet on yourself, man. Um, the biggest, what I see is the biggest common thing between a lot of people that have had a lot of success in this business is how much money do you spend on your education? How much money do you spend on workshops, on masterminds, on consultations? And yeah, dude, a lot of the people that have mentored me, they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn what they know and to get connected to the right person. um so yeah, I mean, that is really what changed the game for me.
So let me ask you something. Do you remember that workshop? What was it about? What was it that you heard or listened to or connected with? What was it about that workshop?
It was with Carlos Reyes out in
My boy
yeah,
Carlos,
Alex
La
Simon.
Raza.
Yeah, exactly. And Sal, I've been following those guys forever. So, when I saw that they were doing like a $5,000 workshop where they could show you how to actually, you know, manage a wholesale operation and start one, I jumped on it. I jumped on it quickly, and yeah, man, the best $5,000 I've ever spent. And so now it's I'm constantly trying to find the next one. Even if I'm in the position that I'm in right now, I'm constantly trying to, go to another workshop, go to like another mastermind session. Regardless of how much you should still be, investing money into your education and into getting into the right rooms, right? So yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, let's dig a little deep into who Willny is. If you were to be asked, what is your biggest strength when it comes to a business owner? What do you think you're bringing to the table that is truly, genuinely Willny? What is your strength?
So my I would say my biggest strength is my ability to see things happen before they actually happen. You know,
Visualization.
yeah, I can see where things are gonna fall off the cliff. I can see when things are gonna go pretty well. So that and being proactive. I'm proactive as hell. With everything that I do, and I teach my team that as well. You have to be proactive and on top of things in order to get it done. Whether it be following up with the seller or following up with the title company, we're always on top of the bag. We're always on top of the money. Got to be proactive.
Who's got my money?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, man. But honestly, dude, I'm no different than anybody else. I mean, you know, I came from nothing. I'm a young cat.
Tell us your story if you don't mind sharing it. I know you were sharing a little bit earlier before the show,
For sure,
but
man. So,
where'd you come from? Where'd your family come from? Where?
my family is from Honduras. So, I was raised here in Florida. I and
Florida.
yeah, Florida, Pompano Beach.
Okay. Okay.
So I was raised by a single mom. She
Mm.
she literally instilled that hustle mentality into me, and yeah, man, it wasn't the easiest growing up. I'm from the hood. Growing up with not the best type of people, but got arrested a lot. I probably got arrested like 7 times before I was like
Oh,
17. Yeah,
wow.
so I have a very rough background, but I thank God because all that has really got me to where I'm at.
Yeah.
So when you're going through stuff, you shouldn't look at it as a bad thing, honestly. And this is how I look at things now. I really don't look at anything as bad. I just look at it as a stepping stone, right, to the next level. And I always look back and say and ask myself, like, what did I learn from this? What could I have done better? What shouldn't I have done?
Yeah.
So that going through all that really has instilled that mindset in me, and which led to me being where I'm at such a young
Yeah.
age.
Does your mom still because I know you live in Houston, right? Is she in
Yeah.
Florida or is she in Houston?
Yeah, she's in Florida. So
Okay.
I go out there, I visit, maybe once every 2 months, 3 months.
No seas gacho, go more often.
Right? You're right, man. My mom tells me the same thing. She was like, bro, why don't you just buy a house here? I'm like, you're right.
We'll
Yeah,
start with the land.
for real. We'll start with the land. But yeah, man, it's I come from that type of background, and I got here back when I was 18 years old. I literally packed all my shit in my car and I drove to Houston.
What was it about Houston?
It was, I guess it was how big the city was, right? I was looking, dude. I was if you search up my name and couch surfing on Google, you'll see that I was looking for people to help me out when I was like 18 years old. I had my skateboard, I had a little car. I said, so I was looking for everywhere. I was thinking about going to New York, LA, fucking Houston, Dallas, but I ended up in Houston. So I packed all my shit. I got to Houston, and yeah, man, that was like 2016. And
Nice.
yeah, man, so started working for a real estate company, and yeah, man, learned a lot throughout the.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey guys, quick kind of comment. We'd love to hear from you, but we're using a service called StreamYard. So what I need for you to do is to, on the comments of the post, go ahead and give permission to StreamYard so that we know who you are. Otherwise, we're not going to know who your beautiful faces are. And once you do that, make sure in the comments, let us know where you're from and what's your market. And if you have any questions or challenges or anything that you'd like Willny or myself to kind of answer, go through, we're happy. This is time for you guys. So we're definitely happy to do that. Let's talk a little bit about, some of the challenges that you might be facing. Let's be real. What do you think, based upon your personality, some of your most challenging weaknesses that you're still working on now?
I would say my most challenging weakness would probably be probably be leaving work at work, right? Office work, I want to leave it at the office. So it's really it's really separating personal from business. I'm always bringing the office to my house, and it's definitely not good. But I think it's that addictive personality that I have, because I was addicted to the wrong shit back then, So
Yeah.
so now, but I've been working on it. So that's on the personal side. On the business side, man. On the business side, now that I think about it, man, that's a tough question, dude. On the business side, it would probably be, it would still probably be getting in the right rooms, finding the right people to help me out
You
with.
only got 24 hours, so
Yeah,
who are you going to spend those 24 hours with?
exactly. So yeah, I guess that's another thing. I want to be more resourceful, so with my contacts and whatnot. So yeah.
We got a real good question from Uriah. Thank you so much for chiming in. What would made you gain expertise in land?
What
¿Cómo
made
aprendiste la tierra?
For real. Honestly, man, I've been flipping land for years. I've been doing this for years. But it all started with small little lots, right? Very, very tiny lots. And, I saw how easy it is, right? I saw how streamlined of a process it is compared to houses, with land, you literally lock it up, marketing flyer, and sell the property. That's literally the the 3 steps.
You don't mow it?
Huh?
You don't mow it?
Right? Yeah. So no mowing, no showing, no tenants, no toilets, nothing. So we then started looking at bigger acres. 5 acres, 10 acres, and that was very intriguing to us. I mean, because if you could have such a streamlined process with smaller lots, why can't you with bigger lots? So that's what we did, man. So now we're like only marketing to big acreage. And
When you say big, how many you're talking about?
20 plus.
20 plus. Okay.
Yeah, 20 plus. But we still have, I mean, we still market to smaller acres as well. I'm not gonna lie. We still market to the smaller acres, 1 acre plus. But majority of the marketing budget for land goes to these bigger assets. You know, I found out that my marketing ROI is way higher than the industry average. You know, on average, if you're doing wholesaling, every dollar that you spent is going to turn into 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Since we are marketing to strictly land, our marketing ROI is 10 to 12x. So every dollar that we spend turns into $10 or $12. And yeah, man. I mean, if it just doesn't make any sense to deal with anything else, you know. And I'm not saying that we're not gonna do a house deal if it comes across our table.
Yeah,
but we're not gonna put our marketing dollars towards houses, you know. So
nice. Facebook user. I'm sure you're a lovely person, guy or girl. Where do you pull your list for vacant land or lots?
So we pull our list from a few different sources. ILS Investment Group. A buddy of mine's created it. His name is Pablo, and this guy is a freaking genius. He creates scripts and coding, and he puts it on these appraiser websites and literally scrapes a bunch of data for you. So this is raw data. So we use him. We also use.
Is this something that's only available to you for your relationship, or is this something that somebody can go?
Yeah, no, you could actually reach out to him. ILSinvestmentgroup.com.
ILSinvestmentgroup.com. Nice.
Yeah. His name is Pablo. He's a great guy. We also use Atom Data.
Is he at all? Let me pause you. Is he at all related to ILS.cash, Investor Loan Source?
No.
Okay.
No. I think
I used to like ILS total deviation because they used to have a wrappable product. It was a hard money lender but they used to have a wrappable product.
Yeah. I think I have a loan with them. Right 1 unit. Yeah.
It just the ILS kind of was like, wait a minute, is it kind of
stood out?
Yeah.
I know those guys.
I was like, what he didn't tell me his name was Paul.
Yeah, man. So we use him, and we also use Atom Data and List Source. So we combine the list together. We stack it so we're not skip tracing the same properties multiple times, and yeah, that's basically it.
Paul Rudder.
What was that?
Paul Rudder. Someone commented. Is that his name?
No, his name is Pablo
Escobar.
He's on IG. He's Abundancia Mindset. Yeah, Pablo.
Abundancia Mindset. I like him already.
Yeah, right. It's not bad.
La raza, we got to get them all together in one room.
For real, man. No, the guy's a good guy, dude.
Atom Data and List Source.
Atom Data and List Source. Yeah.
So we like List Source.
Yeah, you combine all those lists together, and you literally separate. You literally just delete the duplicates, and yeah, man. So when you're targeting these land deals, you want to target agricultural land, multifamily acreage, residential acreage, commercial acreage, industrial acreage. So
everything.
Yeah. So you want to grab all of that, and yeah, dude, make a killing.
Nice. Favorite way to find land buyers.
So the buyer part is very easy. If you got a badass deal, you're going to get a buyer like that.
De volada.
Quick, So I would focus my attention on getting a deal instead of trying to find a buyer for a property
100%.
You don't have. So another thing, even if you was to go look for buyers, they're going to ask you, all right, so what deal do you have? So you want to make sure that you actually come to one of these buyers with a deal. But if I already have a deal, and let's say I'm looking for a buyer, I would do a few things. I would go to the MLS and look up the sold comps around that whole area. And I would literally skip trace the buyer that purchased that comp, So if you don't get in touch with them, you could get in touch with the selling agent, So the selling agent, you're probably going to have to cut them off a commission, 2-3%. That's cool, Everybody has
If
to
you
eat.
negotiated it right, that's nothing. That's included
Yeah,
in the negotiation price.
100%. And yeah, man, it's like I said, the buyer the easiest part. You just got to focus on getting a deal and actually knowing what a deal is, right? So
So let's narrow down on that. How do you, because comps are readily available for site built single family homes. That's
yeah,
like, I mean, a dummy can. I need to backtrack on that because I've seen some crazy ARVs. But
yeah.
it's easy for the reasonably smart individual to come up with comps on site built single family homes. But on land, how do you come up with what a value is?
So there's a few factors that you wanna keep in place. So it all depends on if the property is in a flood zone. If it's in a 100-year flood zone, like any other property, you got to compare it to other properties that are in 100-year flood zones. You might not be able to build anything on it.
Explain to people what a 100-year flood zone is.
So it's basically if every city has like zones, right? They have a 100-year flood zone, 100-year floodway. So these are properties that are next to a body of water that have a higher chance to flood. The best type of property that you could get under contract is something that is outside of the flood zone, that there's no flooding. You know, so the way that we analyze these deals is you want to go based off price per acre. The smaller the comp, the smaller the actual lot. If the lot is a lot smaller, then you have to use price per square foot. But the bigger, you got to use price per acre. So if let's say you got 10 acres, and you have a crazy amount of 5, 10, 15 acre comps in that area. The cheapest one has sold for, I don't know, $20,000 an acre, the cheapest one, right? I would take that. I would factor that into my purchase price. I mean, I would factor that into the valuation of my property. So if I use their price per comp, boom, my 10 acres is going to be worth 200,000. But if I go look at the MLS and I see other properties that are, they're listed for 20K an acre, but they haven't sold outside of the flood zone and everything, then that makes me think, man, maybe it's worth less than 20K an acre. So it's all based off price per acre. You want to be the cheapest price per acre for sale in that area. And honestly, you could go back 500 days, for these properties.
That's something else that I was going to say. In a typical metro area site
Yeah.
built thing, single family home situations, we look at half mile, 1 mile, 6 months, radius 6 months in the past. When you're looking at land, how much further out size, I mean, further out mileage wise do you need to be looking at, radius wise, and what would be acceptable time wise to go down deep on your comps, because you
So,
have less data.
right. So, yeah, you're definitely going to have less data for these bigger properties. Let's say you have 50 acres, you're going to have way less data. So this is why sometimes I go back 1,000 days just to see a history of
3 years.
yeah, 3 years, just to see a history of what has been selling in that area. And for those, let's say it's a 50-acre plot, I'm going out like 2-3 miles. I'm going out for that because remember, with a bigger plot of land, you're not gonna put no house there, no one little house. You're gonna put like fucking 100 houses on there.
It's gonna be a subdivision.
Yeah, so if you go ahead and expand it to a 3-4 mile radius, you're still gonna be, you're still gonna be within the area that you're still gonna be on the same side of town, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, and another thing, you don't want to analyze 50-acre plots with 10-acre plots. It has to be comparable, right? So
Apples to apples.
apples to apples. The way this land shit works is, if you are, it kind of works like Costco, right? Costco, if you go to Costco and you buy Snicker bars, and you're gonna have to buy it in bulk,
I like Snicker
And
bars.
you're gonna get each Snicker bar for, let's say, a quarter. But if you go to the gas station, you're gonna get each Snicker bar for $1. So it works the same thing with acres. The more acreage that you have, the cheaper the price per acre. The less acreage that you have, the higher the price per acre.
Yeah.
So it works the exact same way.
Yeah.
So,
Got to keep that in mind. So when you're comparing, it's like, okay, if I got a 20-acre parcel, maybe look at 10 to 30-acre comparisons. Got a 50-acre parcel, maybe I can look at 30 to 100-acre comparisons. If I got a 3-acre parcel, maybe I got to stick to like 1 to 5-acre comparisons.
1 to 5 acres, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Abraham, less of a comment, less of a question, more of a comment. I'm doing some work while listening to this. Please tell me it's being recorded. If yes, send me the link or post it in the group later, please. Yes. So you're going to go ahead and see the recording, schoolofsharks.com, as well as our live feed. And of course, it'll be available on social media as well, for sure. Man, this is really, really great stuff. Guys, if you guys are getting value from what you're seeing here, please do me a favor, like and share to your personal walls. Feel free to tag me, Dancito Gancito, as well as Willny Guifarro. We would love to know that you guys are sharing this content and, sharing the love for sure. Let's talk a little bit about some of your biggest accomplishments,
Sure.
Recent ones that may or may not include 6 digits, that may or may not start with a 7.
Hell yeah. So
tell us about it, man. The stage is yours.
So one of my biggest accomplishments is I recently paid my acquisition manager over $100,000 on one transaction. So honestly, that felt way better than actually closing the deal.
Say that again. Exactly what happened, because that's really unique.
So we closed a 93-acre wholesale deal, and we made $700,000 on it. I got it for $950. I sold it for $1.65. So, and it took like 90 days. But what I find much better than actually making that money is paying my guy $100,000.
Whoa!
Just for being the acquisition manager on that deal. So
my DM is blowing up. Are you hiring? Where can I apply?
Yeah, we're hiring. There's my email right there, Willny@equityoftexas.com.
Man, that's awesome. Sharing the wealth for sure.
So yeah, man, that felt way better than actually closing the deal, because you get to a point where you make a lot of money and it's nothing new. I make another $100,000. Okay, está bueno. It's fine.
Vámonos.
Yeah, vámonos. It's all right. But when you're able to pay somebody that amount of money, that's the greatest feeling ever. I almost shed a tear when I gave him $100,000.
I bet you did.
Yeah, dude. Right. I mean, it's life-changing money. So yeah, man. I'm more on the impacting side. I love impacting people's lives. So that's probably my biggest accomplishment, aside from closing that big deal.
Yeah.
I guess another thing, man, is another thing is probably, I created this course, and it literally shows everybody how to actually flip these acres, right? I have a lot of friends that they didn't want me to share this, to share the information that I know on flipping land, because it's going to get saturated or something like that. But so yeah, that was another time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's, I got an abundance mindset. So yeah. I want to teach as many people as possible, how to do these life-changing deals, because one land deal could literally make more on one deal than fucking 100 houses or 50 houses. You literally just have to start looking at bigger assets. That's all it is. So this is why we only do multifamily and vacant land. You know, the money is in these two, but the only difference between me and another wholesaler is that we're marketing different. That's all it is. I'm just
What
putting
is your marketing? Let's talk about that. What is some of your marketing that you do?
it's SMS marketing and cold calling.
Well, that ain't any different. You're probably doing it better.
The list is the different part. You
Yeah.
know, the list, actually spending all your money on a specific asset. That's where people that's what people are not doing. And I feel that if you start getting very, very targeted with your marketing, you know, you're gonna see a crazy amount of results. Um, so yeah, man, you just literally just got to change your marketing list, because we're doing the same shit. Cold calling, SMS, RVM is nothing new. The only difference is that we're pulling a different list. You know, we're not spending money on on a list of houses.
Yeah.
So this is why
Now
we get
share with the audience if you don't mind. If you don't mind, for
sure.
example, what is your list count consist of? Are you blasting 100,000 people in Texas? Are you narrowing it down to like your best 100 candidates? What does your list look like numbers wise?
How many records we have?
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of records. We have like maybe 2 million records.
Wow.
So I mean, but yeah, I mean, but the most important part is where you're going to deploy those marketing dollars at. You know, I am not, like, for us, we're not going to be in you know, in the middle of the country, where there's like 2,000 people. You know, we like the outskirts. So we target the Harris County, we target Montgomery, you got Fort Bend, Galveston. So you want to get the outskirts of major markets. That $700,000 deal, that was on the outskirts of a major market, on the outskirts of Dallas. You know, and as right now in Texas, as cities are growing, the more the city grows, the more expensive it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are forced to go outwards, right? They're forced to leave the actual city and go to the outskirts. And this is where those builders, you know, a lot of major builders are building at. And this is where they're looking for properties at, because you're getting the price per acre at a cheaper rate. The housing is going to be much more affordable, which is going to guarantee that they actually sell the house. Um, and yeah, man, and it works out. So you want to definitely target outskirts of major
Major
markets.
metro areas.
Yeah,
So
and
Big Bend is not on your list.
Big Bend
National
is.
Park.
Oh yeah, no, it should though. It should.
It should.
I'm thinking about it. You know?
We got a good question. Typical timelines to close a large parcel deal. What kind of timelines are we looking at from putting it under contract to expected?
I would say like 90 days, 90 to 100 days. You know, so here's the part that you want to make sure gets inputted into your contract. You want to have a crazy amount of an option period. So you want 45-day options, 60-day options if you could get away with it, and you want to close, you know, at the minimum 90 days. You know, in these 45 to 60-day option periods that you have to remember you're gonna be finding a buyer throughout that time. But what you want to do is you want to find that buyer immediately. So you want to find it quick. So you want to exhaust all your marketing efforts within the first 10 days. And, you know, because that buyer is going to need an option period. You know, they're going to need an extra 30 to 45 days. So
Due diligence.
yeah. I mean, you know,
You can't. It's they're not walking a 1,200 square foot house.
yeah, they're not walking no 1,200 square foot house. These guys are buying a crazy big development project. So they
That's what
have,
I was going to ask you. The
yeah.
typical, the DR Hortons, the KB Homes, the purchasers that are going to be making subdivisions. What kind of timeline do they need to do their due diligence?
So I recently had like a LOI signed with DR Horton, and for the 93 acres that I sold, their option period is ridiculous. It was like 90-day options, you know. So so yeah, I mean, definitely it's a long period. So
Mhm.
so yeah, can you sell to them? Of course, but would I find somebody another investor that could just buy it and develop it? I'd rather do that because these
So
listed.
who you sold it to? Was it to the direct developer? Or did you sell it to the guy who does the entitlements?
So we were in touch with the land acquisition specialist at DR Horton. They ended up backing out though. You know,
Hmm.
they ended up
Sure
backing
enough.
out.
We'll bleep them in the podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. So they weren't they didn't pull through with the deal. So that's when I started marketing again to my
So who
close.
ended up being the real buyer? I mean, you don't have to say the name, but like what type of
So
buyer was it?
it was actually somebody from my close network that got it sold for me. So I got it for 950. Um, we sold it for 1.65. My buddy my buddy went under contract at 1.65. He sold it to another guy at 1.85.
So he
So
made two.
he made 200 grand.
Hmm.
And yeah, man,
Do
it
you know
worked.
do you know who the final buyer was?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
kind of person
I
was he?
know. Huh?
What kind of like was he a developer or was he somebody who does
Yeah.
land entitlement or
So he was a developer. So
okay.
he's gonna end up putting 200-300 homes on there, and yeah, man. So it worked out for him, man. The property, it's a nice size property. It's next to a DR Horton development already.
I'm shocked they didn't like that just seems silly. You know, you were gonna be right next to it.
Yeah.
You knew
So
you knew everything. You knew the contractors, you knew the land, what it looked like, you know.
exactly. So, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't buy it because you know it probably would have dragged on until December. You know.
And your buddy in your network wouldn't have made 200,000.
Exactly. So
I mean, for real, right? I mean,
literally, man. So that was his biggest deal. That was my biggest deal. Everybody ate. So, and that's another thing. You're always, how I see it, you're always gonna have to leave money on the table for these wholesaling these bigger acres. You know,
have to.
you have to leave money on the table. Do not try to maximize your profit on bigger acres. For bigger acres, what I'm focused on is the terms of the contract when I go to sell it. The smaller the acreage, the more I focus on price because I know there's a big pool of buyers that are going to buy it quick. Now with bigger acres, I mainly focus on the terms because the terms is literally what is going to make or break the deal. So I want people that could close within 60 days, 60, 90 days and need like 15, 30, 45-day option periods, so
Nice. Definitely gold. Let's talk about perhaps some actionable information. What are some words of wisdom that you can share with someone who is maybe starting out either in real estate or perhaps in land acquisition and wholesaling? What are something that you can share that's really been impactful either in your life or your career?
So that's a good question, man. So what I would recommend people do is I would recommend you go ahead and make an offer for every single property you come across. That's one of the things that I didn't do at the beginning of my journey. I didn't make offers on everything. I should have made offers on everything. Um, so that's one. Another thing is you got to invest in your education. You have to spend money on knowledge. So you're going to get the best ROI. The more you know, the easier life gets, honestly, and yeah, man, that's pretty much that. Spend money on your education, shoot your shot. You got to shoot your
Shoot
shot.
your shot every
Yeah,
day.
honestly, it's kind of like fishing, right? I mean, if you put out one fishing line into the ocean, you may catch a fish,
Nada.
may not catch a fish, but if you put out
You may catch a
100,
cold.
yeah, you might kind of exactly, dude. But if you put out 100 fishing lines in the ocean, you're bound to catch something. So I would say set a target of how many offers you're going to push out per day. So that could be 3, 5, whatever it is. But just make sure to hit that target every single day. The more that you hit your target, the more confident in yourself you will become. You know, you will have so much confidence in yourself. And honestly, if you're not confident in yourself, it's kind of hard to do big stuff in life. You need to feel confident of yourself. And that goes with anything. Whether you are trying to get in shape, you have to go to the gym every day, you know. And the more that you do that, the more confident you're going to feel about yourself and your body, and that's going to be shown to people by your manner of talking, by the manner of conducting, business. And yeah, man. So
That's super smart. And a lot of people sometimes get confused, especially if they're starting out. An offer does not have to be a full blown trek 1 to 4,
yeah,
full six. No. Right now, as we're going through, I just shot 2 more offers. There was this one guy, he gave me a counter and he says, how about we do $135,000 down when we do a note for $1.2 million for the balance? This is the address. What do you say? We're real close on that one, I promise.
yeah.
So offers is just putting something in front of someone. I suggest in writing, it can be via text, it can be via email, just so they can hold it. I mean, we're not talking about validity or legality, but when we're just talking about offers and shooting your shots, it's put information in sellers' minds that they can act on. Yes, no, or counter.
Exactly.
Yes, no, or counter.
Yep.
So super, super practical.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the day-to-day practical stuff, practical applications. Let's hone it down from your experience. What are some practical things that someone can and should be doing on a daily basis to move the needle forward, either personally or business-wise?
It would be to set targets for the day. You have to set targets in order to be successful. If you don't know what the target is, how are you going to hit it? So like, for instance, one target could be make 3 offers today and get it in writing. You must have everything in writing.
Must have everything in writing, guys.
You gotta have your targets and your goals in writing. And this is why I recommend that 10x journal, because you have your yearly goals on one list, you have your targets for the day, your successes for the day, and you have your calendar. So for me, the more I put things in writing, the more they come alive. Everything that I wrote in my book, in my 10x journal back when I was like 18, 19, has actually been realized. So that's one thing. Setting targets, keeping it in writing. Another thing is you got to watch out who you hang out with. So if they're not helping you, move the needle forward, whether it be in your personal life or your business life, then they're literally a distraction. How I see it, you gotta
cut them out.
You have to be very ruthless at the beginning of your journey, very selfish. But as time goes on, that you're kind of not as selfish. I was very selfish at the beginning, but now that I am where I am, I'm not so selfish.
I don't think it was selfishness. I'm going to call you out on that. I don't think it was selfishness, because I think you realized even at your early age that focusing on yourself would allow you to give more.
Yeah. Sure.
So if it's all right, I'll call you out on that. I mean, selfish means me, and only me. But you were focused on how can I improve myself, because only by improving myself can I improve those around me.
Exactly.
And that is perfectly fine. I mean, that's right where someone needs to be, for sure.
100%.
Well, listen, Willny, I really do appreciate your time. I know that when we originally scheduled this, you told me you had an important meeting to head out at 5:00. So we want to be super respectful of your time. Thank you so much for being generous. If anyone wants to get in contact, here's his email address. He may not respond right away because he's doing $700,000 deals. Just throwing that out there. But thank you so much. I'd like to leave the platform a little bit for maybe about 30, 45 seconds for you. If you'd like to say something with the audience and just kind of share something inspirational or motivational and maybe kind of get everyone pumped. Go ahead.
So guys, you guys, if you're wholesaling, you have to realize that, you must maximize your marketing dollars. So you got to spend every dollar that you spend has to multiply. Now, if you want bigger results, you're gonna need to change your asset class. You know, you're not gonna see no $700,000 wholesale deals wholesaling houses. You know, it's just not gonna happen. You know, so this is why I created a course. It's called Flipping Acres 101. You can find it at flippingacreage.com, and it's going to show you everything I know about wholesaling big parcels of land, you know? So, yes, sir.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on board. Again, if you enjoy the content, show a little love. Go ahead and share this on your own personal social media platform. Feel free to tag myself as well as Willny. We'll be ecstatic to hear about your journey. Thank you so much, Willny. I hope you guys have a great one, and you guys enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers to y'all.
God bless.